everybody, this is Tazilon. I am in my T21 here in Halluif East spawn for the premiere edition of a brand new Lighthouse tutorial series called Playbook. On Playbook, we're going to look at specific maps and specific areas on those maps and discuss how best to play them in the early stages of a fight. So what I'm going to be doing on this one is looking at Overwatch on the southern flank of Halluif East. And as you already know, I tend to be a little wordy, and it's like, hey, if you don't like to talk, you wouldn't make YouTubes, right? So here's the too long, didn't listen, Reader's Digest condensed version of this video. Go here, right to where my pointer is. Go here, shoot at everything you see over here until they're all dead. Go down the ramp, go up the ramp, kill everything you see up here. Okay, there's the 10-second version of what I'm about to say, but I'm going to go into much greater detail, talk about how this role evolved, the historical significance of how I'm playing this, and why you should go where I just pointed out, and how people do it the wrong way, and what happens if you do it the wrong way. So, here we go with the 30-minute version of what I just said in 10 seconds. Overwatch. What is Overwatch? It's an actual military term coined in the 1950s, and it's a very straightforward term. It's exactly what it says. Overwatch. You sit over your allied forces, and you watch for enemy forces. Over them, watch out, overwatch. What you do is you sit above and behind allied forces, and you provide protective fire if they engage the enemy. Also, as they make a movement across open terrain, you provide cover fire or suppression fire to try to keep enemy from being able to engage the forces as they're vulnerable in open areas. It's historically very similar to what light tanks who were attached to recon units did in World War II. Because believe it or not, light tanks didn't scout in World War II. That wasn't their job. Recon units, people on horses at the beginning of the war, that was quickly outdated and dropped. Horses, motorcycles, jeeps, half-tracks, other fairly mobile wheeled vehicles were who actually scouted in World War II. The trouble was, field commanders realized a lot of times the recon units were being engaged by lightly armed enemy forces. They would run into screening forces, picket forces, skirmishers, and somebody with a rifle can take out somebody on a motorcycle. Somebody with a rifle can take out somebody driving a jeep. And so they requested heavier armor to help protect their recon units. And they began getting light tanks to attach to their recon units, and it's like they couldn't get heavy tanks. Heavy tanks weren't anywhere close to being fast enough to keep up with their fairly agile and mobile and speedy recon units. So they were of no use. But light tanks were best suited for the role. They could most closely match the speed of the faster recon units, and so they wouldn't slow them down too much. And so, as the recon units moved around the land looking for enemy forces so they could provide intel to their commanders on how many enemy there were, what they were comprised of, where they were going, and then the commander could decide whether to engage them or not, the light tanks tagged along with them, and if they encountered resistance, the light tanks would move in and provide protective fire for the recon forces. They were serving an Overwatch role before the term was even invented. And in this way of playing Halluif, that's exactly what you're doing. So it's a very historically accurate method of employing what we now refer to as a scout tank. The history of this map is when it first came out. It wasn't one of the original maps, I don't think, but when it first came out, the terrain was similar, but a lot of big differences because of the way it was set up. all the lights and mediums on this side, as soon as the battle we went, sprint down to the beach. All the lights and mediums over here run down to the beach. And then this huge furball occurred. You were pretty much cut off from everybody else. And you'd have a 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. Tanks running all over the place. Bullets flying all over the place, hopefully not shooting allied tanks. And whoever managed to be the last tank or group of tanks standing got the war prize of coming up the ramp and just wreaking havoc on whoever was left up here not doing anything. But about 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, the map changed. And suddenly, people up here along this edge were able to fire down onto the beach and get a lot of really easy XP. Because as these tanks were brawling down here, just having the time of their life, they were sniping down into it. And it got to be where it didn't matter who was the last tank down here. You were going to be dead anyway before you get off the beach. It was very hard to go down in here, have a fight, and have anybody left, because both units of snipers would pick everybody off. And so after a couple times of doing that after the map change, like, man, this is crazy. What's the point of coming down here and having fun? I don't get to ever leave the beach because I keep dying. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to move up here. And while these people are busy shooting down into the fight, I'm going to be busy shooting over here at them. And it worked way better for me. And so I've played this ever since I've played it this way. Now, I don't know if I'm the very first person to come up with this or not. I know at the time I did it, I didn't know anybody else doing it. But then I don't get to play against everybody else out there. So probably somebody else came up with the same idea pretty much the same time I did after the map changed. But I do know this. In 2014, Wargaming had this like fantastic light tank contest. I think it was in September, in late summer. They ran a month-long contest where for each scout tank, they kept track of who recorded the highest XP missions for an entire month. And the top 50 XP missions for each scout tank received an award. The bottom 25 or 30 missions, the lowest of the top 50, got like various consumables as a prize. But the top 2 or 3 tanks were awarded premium tanks, with the number 1 person getting the best of the premium tanks awarded for that particular scout tank contest. And playing my VK2801 the same way as I'm going to play it today, I won the VK2801 contest. And it was really, I was pretty far ahead of all the other people who played. And not only my score was high enough that it won NA. When you compared it to the EU servers, I also would have won it over in EU. And so ever since then, I've always played it this way. And they posted the videos of all the winning missions, and other people saw how I played it, and a lot of other people started playing this way. But over the last 3 years, I've noticed almost nobody plays it correctly. Almost nobody plays it the way I do, and they end up paying severe consequences for it. And as I go over here, I'm going to stop and show you why I go, where most other people go, and why it's so bad to play it the way they play it. So, off we go. Now, as we leave spawn, it's always a challenge to make sure you don't run into other people or impede their progress. Sometimes you hit people so hard you damage them. Other times you just prevent them from going where they want to go, or they prevent you from going where you want to go. So be nice to each other and try to get to where you're going without slowing anybody down or slowing yourself down. The T-50 and I could have gotten tangled up, but we each respected the other person's desires, and we both get out of there with no damage done. So I pull up here immediately, go a little bit to the left, because I don't know if that tank's going to spot me or not. I want to be out of the line of fire right away if it does. Man, he goes flying over that hill, and he doesn't get hurt somehow. Look at this. I already see a tank. I'm already firing at a tank. Whoa, there's a T-3485 down farther to the left. And I will deal with him more in a little bit. There's, as a matter of fact, 2 mediums over there. Now, I've been up here for a minute. In the very first minute, I just spotted 4 tanks, and I got to fire at 3 of them. It's not always this lucrative, but you can easily see the potential you have for coming up here and playing this map this way. How many times have I fired now? Has anybody seen me? No. This is awesome. I get to shoot over and over and nobody can see me and fire back at me. Now obviously to play it like this you really want to have your tank built for vision control. Maximize your vision skills and equipment on your tank. You can see I have binoculars. Almost all my scout tanks are equipped with binoculars now. I've gotten rid of coated optics. I have them on some tanks. Some tanks I run both. But on most of my scout tanks I just run binoculars. Okay, little law in the action. Let's look at where I'm at and why this is where you want to go. Also some of the benefits for it. It's not like Wheel of Fortune in the final puzzle where they have a little X drawn on the floor where Pat Sajak goes to that precise spot and he has to be there because of the camera and the microphone and everything. You don't have to be exactly to the pixel where I'm at. Somewhere up on this hill is fine. You want to be a little bit towards the back because look at that terrain change right there. If I would have gotten spotted when I fired, or if somebody would have come screaming down the hill or down the ramp and seen me, look how close I am to being out of line of fire. 15 meters away is safety. That's going to take me a second and a half. Notice I already have my tank turned around, pointed in the direction to which I want to egress if I'm spotted. Don't be facing that way to where you have to turn your tank around to get away. Point the way you want to go so you save a bunch of time if you have to leave quick. Saves your life, saves your tank. Your crew will thank you. So, how does everybody play this wrong? You see this battle after battle after battle. Matter of fact, T1 Heavy's doing it right now. He's a great example. He's right here. He comes up here to this little dip right here. People like to come up here and spot from over here. Don't do that. You get seen. You get shot. They like to go right here, thinking I think this bush is going to conceal them. Don't go here. You get seen. You get shot. Another really popular one. Let's peek around this hill. Nobody's going to see us do that. Don't go there. You get seen. You get shot. Finally, people love to go right down in here. Do not go there. You get seen. You get shot. Why? Because people hide in this bush. People sit right here. People sit right here. People sit right here. People sit up here. People sit right here. People sit up here on this hill, which is where I go when I play that side because I get to do the same thing as I'm doing over here. And if you poke up here, you poke up here, you poke out here, you sit here, especially over here if you fire, you get seen. And then you get shot. Sit where I'm at. I don't get seen, I don't get shot, but I get to keep firing away. That's scouting nirvana. I get to shoot at them, they don't get to shoot at me. Perfection. Sit here. Easy egress if you get shot, and there's going to be another 2 added benefits that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Off we go. The Ram 2 I can't shoot at right now. Artie's going to take care of that for me. Artie's going to fire at him. Look, he got a little bit of damage. I'm waiting. For some reason that EXP thought it was a good idea to take a heavy down to the beach down there. That is not a good idea. Don't do that unless you want to die. He's not going to survive very long. The T-50's trying to get up the ramp right there. You can't do that. Every once in a while a tank will manage to get up there. It's almost impossible to climb that little hill there. Okay, time for you to die. Now here comes a Chaffee. As he comes around the edge, I'm going to have a bullet on the way. Bam! Hits him. Whoa, there's that Su-85, but time to finish him off if I can. Almost dead. Ah, missed him. He's going to get around the corner. I'm going to turn my attention back to the Chaffee, because he's going to keep moving, and I'm going to keep shooting at him. And it takes a couple shots to wear him down, but he's going to keep coming around the corner here, so I get to shoot again. One more shot and he's dead. Off he goes. I miss him on the next one. And he's nice enough to die on this one. Bam. Leopard's still living down there. Our OX experimental learned that that's not a good place for a heavy tank early in a fight. Now watch this. Leopard is coming up the ramp. That'll happen. You just simply move over here into this little dip here. You can pull up and shoot down there. If you get spotted and take return fire, sometimes people fire at you from over here. You just back up and go down the other way from what I went, because I'm into attack mode now. But you can just back up behind the ridge and you're safe again. There's T-3485. Time to take him out. Come on, come over here where I can shoot you. Keep coming, keep coming. Thank you, goodbye. Now, here's a trick going down this hill. Watch right here. Right here is a deceptive piece of terrain. I might add, same thing right here. Do the same trick coming down this ramp as what I'm going to do here. You're really good. You go forward. You're cool until you get right here. And then this little drop right in this area will hurt your tank. It will hurt your tank if you go down full speed. So watch what I do. Right before I get to it, and I don't time it quite right, right before I get to it, I get off the gas. I let the engine idle and slow down. And so I still get I get like a yellow track coming out of it, but I don't get a red track. You go over this full speed, you are going to smash your tank up, and you're going to get stopped, and that can be fatal to you if you get stuck down here. So right before you get to the dip, get off the gas. Whoa, there we go. I fly a little bit, get yellow tanks. If I would have backed off just maybe 0.2 of a second sooner, I wouldn't have even damaged my tracks at all. Just get off the gas before you go airborne, and that'll slow you down just enough to where you normally don't damage your tank. Now they spot me, but no big deal. I'm going to get around to where they can't shoot at me. They're going to take incoming fire from my snipers, and as I come up the ramp, I'm not going to have to worry about them right away. I know they're up there waiting for me, so when I get up there, I'm going to have to see where it is exactly that they end up being. T-34 just took another shot. I already have 4 kills. Working on more. Here's the big if. Where are they at? Is anybody pointed at me? Is anybody waiting for me to pop up? I'm going to try to go up here and look for the arty, but I cut too soon. I really want to come up here. I tried to go too soon and I don't get to make it. But it's just as good because the 25/2 would have shot me if I tried to go up the hill right there. I'm trying to get him to come out after me so my team can shoot him. And he's not really falling for it. I'm trying to tempt him to come out. But I do manage to tempt some other people here, I think. Whoop. Yep. T-3485 and the Su-85 is going to try to get revenge on me, so I'll just back up. See if any of them take shots. Come on, people. Come to me to where I can shoot you. Trying to get concealment back and pull up and try to squeeze around off on one of them. No shot there. Tried to get a shot at him. Can't really sit up there. There's too many tanks. So, time to do something else. They're waiting on me to pop back out up there. I'm not going to do it again. Probably get 3 shots in my face at once if I do that. Oh, it's 25/2 got another hit. So I'll pull over here and see if I can light them up again for my snipers. There's the Su-85 disappearing behind that rock, but we saw each other, so they're going to be ready for me to pull up here. I just have to be aware, hopefully quicker than them. I know the 25/2 is off to my right somewhere. Oh, there's the T-34. Let's see if I can shoot him. Got it.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Kill number 5. Gonna try to go for the Su-85. He's coming after me, so whoa, don't have to worry about it. Ah. The S-35 took him out. Good shot. So now there's just 4 tanks left. The heavies are over here somewhere. See if I can locate this 25/2 and then the arty. He's up here. There he is. He hardly has any hit points left, so I can just go in. I don't care if I take a shot from him. He's going to die. Goodbye. Kill number 6. Now I'm going to go back and go up the hill for real, looking for the artillery. There's the Churchill 7 back there behind me. The TD looks like he's trying to occupy his time, so hopefully I can get up here and get far enough away that I can lob a shot back at the Churchill and maybe get lucky and find the artillery up here. And I come around the corner ready to fire, but he's not there, so I'm going to go in and see if I can snipe the heavy over there. Bam! One shot at him. And he gets taken out by the 25/2. Where's the artillery? There he is. GW Panther. Get rid of the building. Get a better shot at him. One hit. 2 hits. Somebody else kills him. Ah, the TD killed him again. Hey, there's the end of the fight. So, in this battle, I actually have a really good mission. I got 2,250 XP, 2,430 damage, 6 kills, 1,352 spotting damage, 5 spots, and a top gun and high caliber medal. All this because instead of going down here and getting involved in the dogfight and dying, I chose to come up here and play the role of Overwatch. As I said, historically accurate for what light tanks attached to recon units actually did, and on this map, extremely effective. Key being, be on top, a little bit toward the back of this hill. If you get seen, 1.5, 2 seconds, you're back here, terrain covers you, you wait until you get concealed, pull back, repeat. You get to spot some. Here's the other thing. I didn't do this, but this is another advantage. When you saw that leopard come up over here, I moved over here to this little depression and shot down at him. You can also move down here and sometimes shoot. Sometimes you won't see anybody up here, but there'll be a light tank down here in the buildings. Don't be afraid of wasting shots and blasting these buildings out of the way and picking off a light tank trying to hide back in here. You can do that as well, but I didn't get a chance to do that this battle. So there's another benefit. You can move over here, shoot down at tanks trying to hide back in here. And if you don't kill them, you can at least knock down the buildings that are providing cover for them because they easily blown away, and you increase the odds of them dying down there. But you sit up here, provide protective fire for the people down in the beach. Once the people down in the beach are dead and you have most of these people either shot or forced to back up, go down the ramp. You can go this way, you can go this way, whichever you feel like. If you go down this steep ramp, remember, get off the gas a little bit before you go over that one little drop, and it will prevent you from killing your tracks or hurting your crew. Up the ramp or this way, depending on how the forces are, and then you just play up here however you have to play based on who's there and where they're at. It's an extremely effective way to play the southern portion of El Halluif. It won me a free tank 3 years ago, and it remains just as viable today. Keys: don't go here, don't go here, don't go here, don't go here. Go here. In the future, I'll do another one showing you how to play it from this side. You basically go up in here, do the same thing this way. It usually isn't quite as lucrative from the other side because a lot of times people sit way over here and it's harder to get shots on them. But it's very effective at providing a countermeasure to people who try to come over here. And you also have easy access to the enemy side. You also have easy way to back up and get out of sight if you get spotted. So I'll do another playbook video on the opposing side of this concept here at some point in the future. Always keep high degree of situational awareness, and whenever you're a scout, not all scouts anymore play to spot. They think spotting is dead. That's completely wrong. It's more challenging than it used to, but it's still a very fun way to play a scout tank. If you want to play it that way, I highly recommend that you max out your view range, because if you're playing the spotting game, view range wins the game. So max out your view range. Now you don't have to have chocolate or cola or whatever, candy bar, whatever. You don't have to have those added things for that last little bit of oomph. If you put on your skills and perks and equipment, you're already going to have view range that's going to outspot almost every tank you'll ever run against, and it's going to be all you need. Don't waste a slot putting on that extra stuff unless you just personally prefer it. Chocolate, milk, I mean, you don't need that. If you just want to go for that extra edge, fine. I'd rather have that slot for something else. So, a look at El Halluif. Playbook, look for more in the future. We'll do the same thing with some other maps and look at how to play some areas that a lot of people don't really play correctly. From El Halluif South, Overwatch, destroying the enemy team with my scout. Happy hunting.